I can't hear you guys. Can you guys hear me? Can't hear you all. There he is. There he is. There he is. Okay. All right. Now I gotta figure out how I can hear you guys. Can you guys all hear me? You guys can all hear me, right? Okay. Yeah. I can't hear. Can you all hear each other? Oh, we can't. I can't hear you guys. So I gotta figure that out. Gotta figure that out.
Stay away.
There we go. And now I can hear you all. You guys good? All right, we're good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now we can actually fully do this. I gotta make sure on YouTube. Let's make sure.
Dan and I made sure we wanted to be twinning. Black shirts, get the watch on.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys got the watch?
Make sure.
Yeah, I'm like Dan and I made sure we wanted to be twinning. Brother, black shirts, you know, get the watch on. Someone's got to run point.
Oh, you guys got the watch, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm like the. Dan and I made sure we wanted to be twinning. Brother,
We got the watch gang going. Let's go.
Okay. Now can we get a notification going to the chat so people know that we're all good to go now and we're not messed up here.
Sure.
We're no longer messed up here. All right.
We have been delivered.
No longer messed up. All right. So I'm trying to make eventually, you know, this is going to look a lot more professional. This is just me just kind of out of the box right here with these overlays, just trying to get something going. So, you know, this is just the very beginning. I'm going to do an intro. I'm going to create an intro and everything tonight, and I'm going to create some media with this. So you guys can send me like a you know, a picture of you all that I can Photoshop into like a poster or something. That'd be cool.
oh God, I can't tell you the last time I had like a good photo or like a headshot.
Get that new girl to take a picture for you, Paul.
There you go. We're already hopping into
just so
it,
you
y'all.
all wait. So just so you all can see what it looks like on their side. I don't know if you guys can see because you guys are on the desktop side. So Let me see. I'll shoot you. Let me put it in the group chat here.
Paul, how long you had a new girl?
Dude, this is new. This is like I guess we're 2 months in.
Woo!
So yeah, this is a new one. But
go.
she does like to post and stuff. So that's new to me. You know, I barely get my camera on for this type of stuff. So
right.
So yeah, it's very it's very new.
Yeah, it's cool.
You should have seen the smile on his face. It was ear to ear.
Yeah, you seem giddy about it, man. That's awesome.
She's cute. She's cool. Super fun. So
that's awesome.
We'll see how it goes. You know, she's like she appreciates the work ethic, right? But sometimes that seems like really enticing until you realize what that means. So that's the big thing. We'll see if she really hangs with the work ethic.
Are we live? Are we live?
We are live. We are live. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
now we're already way out. So I just clicked the record button. So now we're recording too. We're good. Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's fine.
We support it, man. We're all about it.
Yeah.
So cool.
No, it's fun.
It's fine. Yeah. All right.
Paul, wait. Where do you live, Paul?
I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Dallas. Okay, sweet. Yeah.
I'm in.
We do a lot.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
No, it's fun. Yeah. It's moving and shaking. It's a bumping area. There's people looking for stuff all the time. So.
How far are you from Jasper?
Somebody said, "Is that Paul?"
That's him.
Is the sound good? Can you guys hear? Echoing or anything?
Dude, I don't even know where Jasper is. Let's see.
Jasper. I just
I should know
put an ovation up last week out there. I don't know where it's at, to be honest with you.
You are.
The chat here.
It's a small town. Oh, no, you're not that far away from me.
Okay, we're good.
It's a smaller town.
Oh yeah, you are far. You're. Shit, man. Yeah, you're. I'm very far away from Jasper.
I figured with the purchase price of the property, I figured you'd be a little bit away.
Yeah, you're north of Beaumont and south of Nacogdoches, dude. That is wild.
But I got it for 53. No, 54 and a half.
Yeah.
And then we listed it for 90 over the weekend. And I haven't spoke to that agent yet. I kind of give them like a full weekend to get offers and stuff. And so
I need to move to Jasper.
Yeah? What would you do on Jasper?
I would do nothing. I would learn how to drink beer and shoot guns is what I think I would learn to do.
That's what my sellers do. That's it.
Yeah.
You got it.
That's about all you got going out there. But
anyway, welcome to the Revolutionary Podcast. This is episode 1. And we're obviously working through a few things here. So just give us some time to figure some stuff out. But yeah, we're trying to get going. John's on a phone call already. John's taking phone calls in the middle of the stream and everything. So business never stops.
It never stops, man. But I had to take that call, So.
Yeah.
Oh,
just give us a break. Give us a break, guys, on the first one here. I know we're 40 minutes into this live stream and we just started. We're just 3 minutes into the actual podcast, so it's what I mean. It's all good though. It's all good. We got plenty of time. We just going. He said somebody said it's Ben on a headset mic. I'd recommend Ben get a good quality mic. The peanut gallery's already firing. The peanut gallery's already firing away. The peanut gallery's already firing away. But
I'm just gonna not pull chat up. I'll let you feel.
I'm trying to.
Just avoid all things that hurt my.
You don't even want to know what my screen looks like. I got like 3 screens, like all panned out here, trying to make sure that the stream is being.
You can feel the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
I have a mic that'll connect to this, so that way I can make whoever that is that's not even on a podcast happy.
We'll get you. I'll get you. We'll send you. I'll send you something, Ben. I'll send you some hardware. I'll ship it to your house. Some hardware to your house.
It's always nice to get a good mic.
But we're getting the kinks together. This is eventually on the actual episode. I'm gonna make sure that I do my part on getting the intro together and all that stuff. I really want to make this the first podcast that I do that hits 100 episodes. Oh wait, Ben is going absolutely. I don't know what's going on now with. No, it's horrible. That's
now peanut gallery is coming for him.
The peanut gallery is gonna come for you. Peanut gallery is gonna come for you hardcore now. There we go. All right. So listen. I'm gonna get you some hardware, Ben. I'm gonna ship it over to your house. We'll get you a nice mic hooked up. And somebody said, "Can I get a number 3 large, please?" Hey, this is. You gotta come prepared, man. These people are savage, dude. These people.
Hey, Ben didn't like that one. Ben was not rocking with that one.
Somebody said, "Is this an alien?" It sounds like an alien invasion. Rush sounds like an alien invasion. But I don't know. So I guess today we're just introducing ourselves. I don't know. We'll let the man who started it all, the reason why we're all here today, Mr. Johnson. John, if you want to go first, and we'll go rounds. And tell everybody why we're here and how we all got here.
For sure. Well, first and foremost, I just want to appreciate everybody that's joining us on the stream and everybody that's up here, on this podcast. My name is Jonathan James Johnson. I'm currently 23 years old, and I'm living out the dream, that I wrote about when I was like 16, 17. I'm a full-time digital nomad. I'm currently in Brazil doing this business completely virtually. And I was the founder of REIRevolution. We've grown to over 17,000 real estate professionals worldwide. And, I started when I was, I want to say 19 years old. I heard about wholesaling, and it was one of those things that, I was doing something else at the time where, it was kind of on the back burner, and it didn't really take form or shape until maybe a year later. So by the time I think I was like 20, I want to say I was like 20 when I actually started to take action towards wholesaling. And I started, my entrepreneurial journey with nothing, no handouts. My family was not in a position really to give me anything, no inheritance, you know what I'm saying? And I never wanted to get a job. I had to work a job at one point, because I had no other way to make money. I didn't know about any other way to make money, but I knew that I hated trading my time for money. I knew that I hated to go to work, and I didn't want to be somewhere that I didn't choose to be. And that quickly sparked that flame that I believe that all entrepreneurs have, that is along the lines of, I want to have control over my life and how I spend my time. And that's what really did it for me, man, is when I was sitting at that job, and I could see myself in the mirror. There was a mirror in front of me the whole day. And at the time, I was massively obsessed with skateboarding. That was all I wanted to do before, I got my priorities together. And, long story short, I went to college for a little while. I went for about a semester. And then I kind of saw, the route that I was taking. I was going there for computer science. And I knew that it just wasn't for me. One class that I went to was I think it was a psychology class. And I remember I went into that class, everybody in the room was so disanimated, like they were not excited to be there. I was just not in the same realm, as these other people. And I really tried to get super involved in school and college and, be a part of the student government and all that kind of stuff. And I could quickly see that a lot of it just meant nothing. It was empty. So I knew that wasn't for me. And I decided to take a huge leap and bet on myself. I never wanted to go to school. I was never successful in school. I never fit that box. And, everybody in my life at the time was really advising me not to leave school. Everybody in school was advising me to just switch majors, become a business major. And I could just tell, I had this gut feeling that school just wasn't for me. And I was tired of pretending and acting, like it was. And I'm going to tell y'all, firsthand, making that decision to really drop out, of high school. And then I went to community college, but then out of community college and just go into the unknown is something that's super, super scary, because you're literally charting unknown territory. You don't know what's going to happen. You're literally starting to pave your own path. And so I remember, in that time, I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew that I was always going to be an entrepreneur. Just kind of even reflecting now on what I used to do to earn money was always transactional. It was never like I wanted to go and work a job and spend my time doing something. And so, fast forward, I find out about this e-com stuff online and I'm sold on this drop shipping dream, like, oh, I can make money. And so I just dropped out of college and I said, all right, I'm going to figure it out. And I think, that's one of the qualities that any really truly successful entrepreneur has, is the ability to take action now and figure it out later, to just commit to saying, okay, I'm going to make this happen one way or another. And I'm not going to worry about how it's going to get done. I'm just going to make a commitment to get it done. And so, I dropped out of school. I went all in on the entrepreneurial journey. Long story short, I had to start from literally nothing. At one point, I was sleeping on the floor with a yoga mat and pillows in my mom's house. I had to go and humble myself to get a job at Dunkin' Donuts to get $500. And immediately I started going to the Ross in that same shopping center and just started flipping stuff off of Facebook Marketplace onto eBay and OfferUp at the time, Let Go. And guys, for anybody that's out there watching this, just know that there are tons of different ways to make money. Like, you don't have to necessarily go to a job, but you've got to be able to get some access to money. Like, go get a credit card and learn how to leverage your credit. But I got into real estate. I was about 20 years old when I really started taking action. And the reason that I started REI Rev was because I didn't really have a place where I felt like, I could connect with people. And I had paid for some mentorships. I paid like $3-4 grand to be a part of a mentorship that didn't serve me. And I knew that like we could just do it better. And I knew that Discord was the platform. I'm so bullish on Discord as a networking platform in general. I think it's the future. Just the proximity, that you can be in instant proximity with somebody in real-time voice and text channels is insane. And I knew that there was a gap, in that industry, for the real estate industry. They had no place for people in real estate to really meet that was popping. And so I wanted to be that guy that could really make it happen. And so, I got started just by sharing, what I was learning at the time from the mentors that were teaching me what I was learning. And, we never really sold anything. We don't have like a course or anything like that. And I think that's what really attracted a lot of people, is because we really do this business and we show people how we do it. Nothing's behind a paywall as of right now. And, everything you need to be successful is truly there. I've met some incredible people. Guys like Paul and Dan have been around really since the beginning. And Ben has recently joined us and has seen the vision, as to what this is going to become.
200 members, baby. 200 members. I was 263 members, I think, when I joined. Something like that.
That is insane. That is absolutely insane. And to see, just how the community has grown to over 17,000, and then the turnout, every single day consistently 50 to 70 people joining us for Coffee with Closers as of April 29th, 2024 is just insane. So, listen, I'm grateful for real estate. I'm grateful for REI Rev. I'm grateful for Brent Daniels, man. He was the one who really put me on. He was the one who was doing the live podcasts and the live streams, constantly pouring into people, answering questions for free. And I did exactly what he told me to do in terms of driving for dollars and finding an ugly house and cold calling it. Guys, I started with no dialers, like nothing. I was cold calling, Google Voice and Google Sheets, man, going line by line on People Looker. And we give all of these resources out to you guys for free, so everybody has that same opportunity to get to that first bag and reinvest into your business. But man, it's incredible to see, for the future in terms of where I want to take this. I've been talking with Dan about it and everybody up on the stage. We really think that REIrevolution deserves to become a media company, a media outlet. And it's time for us to really take the content side of things very seriously. We've absolutely dominated on the Discord platform. It's time for people to know who we are on YouTube and Instagram. So that's who I am. It's a little bit about me. You'll learn more about me, as we continue these lives. But I'd like to pass it off, to whoever wants to go next. Who is the man behind the Steez train, the Thomas the Tank Engine profile picture? Who is the Steez train?
They said you don't. They said you don't really look like a train. They said they can't believe. Yeah.
The face is different on the profile picture than real life. It's wild. little bit different demeanor, huh? No, my name is Paul Cooley, and I've been a member of REIRev now for feels like forever. I got into real estate, kind of a more traditional route, I guess. It's never really traditional how you get into it because you want to do it ultimately, right? You have to make a pivot. I graduated from university with a degree in entrepreneurship. I kind of knew I wanted to start something, build something, make something, in that vein. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. So when I got out of school, I worked in just retail management, but it was a great opportunity because it was the owner of the company that had hired me and said, hey, part of my job at this company is to make sure that I give you guys all the knowledge I took building my own business. She had her own library. You could check books out. You'd sit down with her once a week. She'd just give you all this knowledge on, hey, here's what it took to build a business from scratch, start to finish. And they ultimately sold that company to a private equity firm and had a great exit, and it was awesome. So learned a ton. In that process, I bought a house, and I saw what happened when we were growing, which was we had commercial real estate brokers come in and start doing site selection and identifying places based on all sorts of really cool data, stuff like that. So I'd seen my home grow in equity. I just magically had a higher net worth overnight. And I was like, this is pretty sweet. I should do this more. And then saw the aspect of brokerage and commercial real estate brokerage and thought, man, that's really cool. I kind of get to scratch that itch of, analyzing things and their financials and simultaneously being able to touch the asset, right? Like stocks are so foreign to me because it's my computer screen. I can look at a piece of real estate. I can look at a building. I can look at land, and I can say, I can make value here by doing the following things. And so that was really cool to me. I made a pivot. I took as many people out for coffee as I possibly could. I did a real life elevator pitch. I just tried to get my foot in the door any way that was possible, and I ended up finding a firm.
Did you tell anyone you wanted to pick their brains?
No, I didn't. I showed up suited, and I just said, hey, I'm looking for a job. That's really what it was. I was just like, hey, I want to get in the space. I got into this rabbit hole of real estate investing. I know I want to be a part of it somehow. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to fit. And luckily it was receptive because I didn't pick people's brains. I came in with research, right? That was like pretty clutch. Hey, I see who you are, what you do. I want to learn how this company functions and how I might be a fit here. Picked enough brains to finally get an intro into some cool places. Pivoted out of that for a little bit into the residential investment space, helped some mom and pop guys get their portfolio up. And now I'm kind of ultimately back into land and commercial development on the brokerage side, as well as the personal side. I've kind of got my own small development arm that I'm trying to grow and take that somewhere too, which is, I think, what everyone ultimately wants to do. Like, you want to play Monopoly, you want to turn 4 greenhouses into a red hotel, right? So the money, the cash flow is great, but let's be real, we all want to have some assets in the future. So that's kind of how I started. That's where I'm at. I knew I liked sales. I think I'm good at talking to people. I'm learning the automation side of things, which has been great. This community's been really good as to how to build a business funnel, how to get people, coming to you rather than you going to them. That's really crucial in building a business and things like that. Because when I started my business, it was mostly, hey, I just know that if I know all the things and I can be a valuable resource to someone, I can't fail in the business. I don't know if I'll see that unlimited ceiling that so many people talk about when they start a business, but I know that I'll be able to survive and grow something from here. So that was my focus, and now it's really more growth focused. It's been awesome. I've seen a lot of success. We've turned a small land listing business into hundreds of millions of dollars of land listings. It's been really cool to see. I'm looking forward to more success and talking about it all here.
All right, Paul, let's go.
That's happened.
Hey, that's the most Paul's ever talked on the stream. I think that's crazy. That's the most we've ever got out of him live. There we go.
Yeah, I kind of keep it to myself, huh? So, fly under the radar.
Mr. Williams, you're up. Tell us about who Ben Williams is. Most people don't really know you, man. We can't hear you. I can't hear you. Yeah. Can you guys hear Ben? I can't hear Ben. He's gone.
He's gone.
He's
getting it together. Let him
get it together. Let him get it together. No. Let him get it together here.
Yo.
There we go. Ben, our viewer rate dropped 3 people because you took 5 minutes.
Oh my God! All right, all right, there we go. So, who is Ben Williams? All right, so I've been in real estate, I'd say, for probably 3 years. Before that is honestly the reason I got into real estate. So I was special operations in the military for 2 years, which was like always in my mind who I was going to be. I was going to do that till I retired. And then I broke both my legs. And so in 2021, I got medically discharged October of 21 out of Richmond, Virginia. And it was like my whole world came to a screeching halt. So that was kind of like the bottom for me. And I was like, I never want to feel like this again. I want to also help people get out of this situation, because it was kind of like a make or break moment. I was like, this is where most guys that get discharged out of the military kind of let their life go to shit. And I was like, I'm not going to be a statistic. So I ended up getting a job at an apartment complex for a couple months. And then I met the owner of the apartment complex, and I was like, hey, like, I'd love to learn real estate if you'd ever give me the opportunity. And then they flew me to Florida to meet these people who talked about syndicating apartment complexes. At the same time, I was like looking on Zillow for houses every day. I had no idea what wholesaling was. And then I found a house for sale by owner and just did an assignment. It took me like 90 days. But I did my first deal, and then I quit that job at the apartment complex, and that was like 3 years ago. But it all worked. It's so funny looking back how it all ties together and how it all worked out perfectly. But I couldn't have imagined it any better. Really, the whole reason I want to be on this podcast is I just want to show people that like more is possible, even if you're at the bottom. Like, you can come back from anything. So,
I absolutely love that, man. I gotta ask though, how did you break both of your legs, man?
Yeah, so I got 13 stress fractures from an airborne school, and so like jumping out of a plane, right? And then I had 13 stress fractures, and I got an X-ray done, and they were like, you can continue to train, and your legs will probably break, or we could just go ahead and start your discharge paperwork now. And I was like, break them. Because I thought, I was like, I'll either make it and great, or I won't, and I guess I'll figure that out then. I just always saw myself as like being a ranger. I was like, there's no option. There's no other way out. So I just remember the day I had I got x-rays done, and they were like, your legs are literally going to break. And I was like, no, it'll be fine. And like 3 days after that, I just couldn't get out of bed. Like, I would like go to stand up, and it was like, nope. And the doctor was like, yeah, you're broke. They were like, yeah, we don't know if you'll ever walk right again. And like 12 days later, I walked out of the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
all in your head. It's all in your head.
And now he's getting into podcasting, so we're gonna get him a mic, guys. We're gonna get him set up. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take good care of him. You know what I mean?
These are new headphones.
This guy parachuted out of the air to come in this podcast today. He did not come. You know, he didn't have a mic with him up there. You know what I'm saying? He just.
God, really I'm sorry. I didn't realize it'd be that
bad. Listen, man, I've learned, dude. The peanut gallery is ruthless. They're ruthless.
It is.
They're ruthless. You gotta come full prepared, ready to go. They will tell you what you need.
Yeah.
They will tell
I will be going to Staples today to get a full setup.
Just
Wow.
it just means you're too busy slinging houses to get
But your lighting,
streams
your
set
lighting
up.
looks great though. Your lighting looks great.
Yeah.
The lighting looks.
I
looks
see.
great.
I thought that I was
The
prepared. but
lighting
that-
looks.
Yeah.
The
it goes
lighting
to
looks
show.
fantastic.
It goes to show.
You know what I mean? You got the bookshelf and we got matching bookshelves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought I was prepared, but
Listen, it took. How long did it take Paul to get a camera? I think it took Paul like 3 or 4 months.
I had
to get a webcam.
I had a camera.
Oh, okay.
I had a camera. I just did not. This is
You know how
my
to turn it on.
this is my laptop that I'm streaming on right now.
I see.
So
I see. Gotcha.
My battle station is camera free.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So just depends on what I'm doing, but for the purposes of this, I guess we'll do it.
Man, Ben.
Last but not least,
we appreciate Ben. We appreciate coming in here, man. Like because we've all known each other for a minute now, and you really came in here and and just started connecting with us. So I mean, it's you're oh wait, he's there. Okay, he's switching over. All right, let's hope there's no alien invasion coming with this mic. Let's see what happens.
this is the Hawkeye Investments mic right here.
Okay. Here we go. The suspense is heavy right now.
This is my favorite part about first streams. Like a good
So
first.
the chat's like, here we go, let's see. They're like all gearing
Right.
up in the background. They're all getting ready to fire
Ready.
their cannons. They all got their cannons pointed.
Yeah, that's too funny.
Ben's on the chopping block. He's got 5 minutes. Nope. Oh wait.
Different input.
It's like the draft. He's got 5 minutes on the clock. Ben Williams is on the clock. He's got 5 minutes.
There you go.
But I guess while Ben is we'll let him get his mic situation figured out. It's kind of crazy a lot of times when I think about it. I was actually having a talk with one of my guys on my board, one of my guys who came on, who's an investor in my company now. We were talking and he had no idea about the Discord and all this stuff, and I was actually just showing him on the computer. Like yesterday, I brought him up to the office up here, and I was showing him the
penthouse.
I was showing him on the second floor. I was showing him. I brought him up to the battle station, as Paul calls it up here, and I was showing him the Discord and everything, and he didn't even know anything about it. And I mean, he heard me talk about it a couple of times, but he didn't know, he didn't understand, how serious everything is. And I was showing him how much. It's grown, and I was kind of telling him the story about how many people that
Hello.
And there we go. Hey,
let's go.
there we go. Hey,
Is that better?
I think it sounds a little bit
That's
better.
Hawkeye.
I think it
That's
sounds
Hawkeye Investment mic.
Hawkeye.
Oh. All right. Hopefully, everybody can take a deep breath now.
They're all gonna be good. We'll know in like 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
Was Dan frozen?
No, I don't think so. Am I good?
We see.
You guys good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, I mean, I was showing him everything, and I was showing him how many members are in there now, and all this stuff. And I was telling him a couple of times about how, somebody said you don't punk me like that. They're telling me in the chat, you guys are frozen.
The second
I was
one will be better.
Don't do me like that. But yeah, so he didn't know anything about wholesaling and all this stuff, and so I was just kind of telling him a little bit about how I really got committed into the Discord, and but it's honestly a crazy story. Honestly, it's a crazy story how I even got into real estate, and I don't even know if I want to go. I don't even want to go into.
We don't have to break it down.
I'm not gonna break it. I'm not gonna break the full thing down. But what's funny is I was. That's old news. You guys can go watch other podcasts for that information. But no, I had honestly at that time when I had a real estate company. I'd already had a real estate company.
Oh wait.
You good? You good, Ben? Everything good? Oh,
Can you hear us, Ben?
Yes, can you hear me?
There we go. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, but you may have to reload because you can't hear Dan.
Yeah. Well, but anyways, yeah. So I didn't have an audience at all though, right? I didn't have an audience. I didn't have anybody listen. I didn't have any like interest at all, and so I was just kind of doing my thing. I had two businesses at the time. I was partnered into a telemedicine clinic, that I was kind of working with, and then also I had a full time wholesale and real estate business. We even had an office. We had acquisitions agents, all this stuff. But I didn't have like I wasn't known at all in the real estate world. I didn't have any like no one knew who I was at all. A few people knew who my partner was, but like I didn't have any kind of like audience or anything like that. And what's funny is like I had met these guys. I met this guy Liam, and Liam Benson. For anybody who knows Liam, he brought me into a Discord community, and it was kind of like he was like this is a cool community, like we're gonna do deals together and all this stuff, but nothing was really happening, so I didn't really pay attention to it honestly, and then funny enough, John Johnson was in that Discord, and I didn't even know him at the time. We didn't know each other at the time, and then somehow he invited me to REIRev, and there was like nobody in there really at the time. I think it was like 50 or 100 members or something like that. It was like very, very, very few people. And, so I didn't really pay too much attention to it at the time either. And then I think when I really started paying attention, they were up to like, 200 members. And thank you. They were up to like 200 members. And so that's when I really started like putting my effort and time into it and everything, and that was kind of like when John first asked me to be on the podcast. I think it was actually sorry, I'm not sure what's going on with me today. So I basically Sko asked me to reach out. He had reached out to John, said because me and Sko had been in contact. John put me and Sko in contact, and so, John and I had kind of talked back and forth a little bit, but nothing crazy. And then he said, hey, my guy Sko said that we should bring in the podcast. And I had been kind of seeing the activity of the Discord like increase and all that. So I thought it was super interesting that, that what was going on and what I was seeing. So anyways, but John asked me to come on the podcast, and then I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know how many people were going to show up. I didn't really know what the podcast, was about. I showed up and I think we had 50 some people show up, and it was just absolutely, crazy. Like it was just absolutely crazy. We had like 50 some people show up, and shout out to John. He really impressed me of how everything was being ran and all this stuff. And I don't know what it was. It was just a different experience for me that I'd never really experienced before, and I felt like I was for the first time I really felt like I was valuable to a group of people, and I could really see it was just a great feeling. Yeah, so it's been had enough of the headphone jokes. Yes, he's not coming back, guys. No, I'm joking. I think he's getting himself figured out. But yeah, so I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how this was all going to work out. And then I just kind of kept hanging around because of John. Kind of kept reaching out to me, and I just kept coming around a little bit more often, and I just saw the potential of really what was to come with the whole platform, and I'm glad that I did, because I didn't know Paul or anything like that. And
no one knew Paul, man. No one knew Paul.
No one knew Paul really. Paul wasn't really around that much. I knew Paul, a little bit.
I just learned.
I didn't really know.
Well, we didn't know who Paul was. We saw the Steez train. That's how we knew Paul.
That's true. I knew he was in there, but I didn't know who he was I didn't know who that was. John and Paul knew each other from the very beginning because they were talking, back and forth, and Paul helps him, helped John in the very beginning, I think, with some Discord stuff. But yeah, I didn't know anything about anybody in there, and I was just kind of going, just just like, hey, I'm just gonna give this a shot, see what happens. And I just started spending more time, and then we started hanging out. I think just regularly, and then I think it was like 3 or 4 months into knowing each other, I invited like a bunch of the boys down to my place in Miami, and by that time we were about to hit 5,000 members, and it grew super fast.
I think that was before. I think that was like 2K. I think that was like 2K,
Yeah.
3K members.
It was still pretty small.
For sure.
At that time when I invited you guys down?
Yeah, because we hit 5K when I was in Ecuador. Matt Riley was number 5K.
Oh, he was spot on.
Yeah,
Number 5,000.
dude, I remember I kept saying, I was like, you know what? When we hit 5K, and then next thing you know, he's number 5,000, and that was like,
that is
dude,
wild.
crazy.
That's like a clearly like a like that's meant to be. That's meant to be that he was number 5.
For sure.
But
no, John did a good job of like putting together a community that was active. I feel like that was kind of the difference between everything, right? Is like there's so many groups that I'm a part of where people will like kind of talk for a little bit and then kind of phase out and do that. But this, I don't know. It's John, it's Dan, it's a bunch of different people now. But when it started, John was always just starting an event to talk about something with someone new, to introduce you to something. And I think that's a huge credit to why this place is successful and why the community's grown to the size that it has. And then Dan invited all the boys.
Sam really made a valid point. The server runs really like 24/7 now. Like you can log in at 3 a.m. and there's people talking and everything. And it's like, I was telling my guy Justin, I was trying to tell him like how much money and everything that we've made from, I've made from just connections doing deals with people, and it's just crazy. Like he couldn't believe it. He was like, how'd you meet these people? And I was like, Discord. And he was like, for real? Seriously? You know what I mean? They couldn't believe it. And a lot of stuff that wouldn't be possible, had I not really ever, joined and really saw the potential of Discord. I mean, there was just so many things that I just didn't even know or didn't even understand. And I think like John really like changed my mentality of all the people that really are trying to change their lives. Like too, like I didn't think there was that many people trying to be entrepreneurs and try to change their lives. Like I live in Miami, so it's kind of a lot like, there's a lot of people, out here trying to hustle and be the next entrepreneur. But like I didn't realize they're like nationwide. There was all these people trying to really like change their life and really be the next big, the next big dude in business and all this stuff. I didn't realize there was all these people trying to wanting to do that. Now it's down to just me and John. Paul's gone, Ben's gone, everybody's gone.
They're back. I see him. Yeah, you might have to bring him back on somehow.
There we go. Yeah,
I hear you. I see you, but not on the live. We're gonna get you back in here.
There we go.
Dan's got it. He's getting y'all back in. We're reviving you.
Yeah. But
we're gonna bring you back out the gulag here. But man, it's really something to see because I've been saying this for a little while. It's like the real estate industry, the real estate world in general, is like it's such a small world. Everybody who's somebody kind of knows somebody. If you're really doing this business, there are like the same names that kind of pop up, depending on what you're looking to do in terms of creative finance or wholesaling or BRRRR or multifamily, that kind of stuff. The names are the names, and it's such a small world. So to be able to connect those people in that small world is just going to create so much opportunity, for anybody that's in proximity with one another. And we've seen that, just time and time again, like what was going on today. Dan has a goal to buy, X amount of properties, before the end of the year. And we've got a guy who hopped on his CRM who kind of just stumbled upon REIRev and started shooting out some text messages, following along with Dan on that 90-day challenge. Next thing you know, he's got a lead and he can't do anything with it himself, but we've been preaching in the community, guys, like if you come across a lead and you can't do something with it, squat up, work with somebody who can. He talks to Sam. Sam negotiates with that agent that's representing the seller and makes it a win-win for him. He's going to get an assignment. The seller's going to sell their house, and Dan's going to get a good deal. So all that happening just by being in proximity with the right people on REI Rev.
But you know what's super valid too is that Sam made a valid point today in today's morning show. He said something like he goes, Chris already did all of the legwork on the deal for the most part. Like he did a showing. He went in there. He got like live pictures. Did a walkthrough. Met the agent. Has already talked to the sellers. Already explained everything really well. Like already like created all this like easy. Like it's literally just a home run pitch for Sam to get in there and do his thing. And all Sam had to do was just get in there and do his thing, and then it was just like smooth sailing. And I think that's the biggest confusion is like people don't understand sometimes. Like they'll be like, oh, like, I got this lead, you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, how do you know it's a lead? Well, they said yes to my text message. Can you give them a call and all this stuff? And I'm like, no, right? And I had a guy, bring me a lead, and he said like, I think this is a great sub 2 opportunity. I explained to him he's interested. I'm like, well, how'd you explain it to him? And he's like, oh, well, I just told him we're going to be able to give him the same amount of money, right? But we're just going to, he didn't explain it well at all. He explained it in a way where anyone would be interested regardless. And I said, well, that's not an easy pitch for me to hit because now I might have to get in there and he might not even be interested once I really explain to him how this is all going to work. I was like, can you give me a reason at least as to why this seller, why he would end up going more, like why it benefits him going with a sub 2 over just listing it on, on the market. And he couldn't give me a reason, didn't have one. We get on the phone with the seller, and just to prove my point, the guy didn't even want to sell for probably a year. He said, I'm not even ready to sell right now. And I said, well, why am I even on the, and I didn't, and then he just kept going back to the fact that, oh, well, you tell people to bring you leads. I'm like, no, I don't tell anybody to bring me leads. I just say, hey, like, you got a deal that you're working on that you're having, you realize that there's something there, but you realize that you can't do anything with, then someone else might be able to do something with it. But that doesn't mean you get somebody who replies to something or fills out a form, you bring it all the way to somebody else's table. It's like there's a lot of work there that has to be done. So,
right,
it's just that's a good example though. Like Chris really did a lot of legwork on there, so that's why it was easy. It was an easy pitch and run for Sam. So,
yeah, it's tough. I think a lot of people think real estate is sometimes just connecting a buyer and a seller, and then missing all the things between, right? Like how many things can go wrong between contract to closing and what you discover along the way, what the title company finds, what lenders have issues with what type of, all that type of stuff. And so, yeah, it's great. You've got someone interested. That's a great first start, right? But what happens beyond that? And are you experienced enough to do it, or are you capable enough to figure out what the problem needs or what solving needs to happen to this type of problem? So crucial to get stuff across the line, because sometimes a lot of people in the wholesaling brokerage space just you don't get paid until close, right? So
it's like the first day you get a lead, somebody's like, when do you think that'll close? It's like, oh, come on, man.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more.
What are you talking about?
I do love counting imaginary money. Like that's a really fun thing to do.
One of Paul's favorite pastimes.
I'm just kidding. No, it's that's a dangerous game, especially when you try spending imaginary money, right? So I've never done that because I knew.
Oh, I sure have.
I had one of my very first ever offers fall through. So I kind of saw it firsthand how it can kind of hit the fan really quick, and I was like, okay, so just don't count those chickens until it's fully hatched type of
Oh, I lost one the other day that I couldn't even make sense of how it happened. I had a public notary go to the lady's house with a signature. We were good to go. I had a buyer going to look at it on a Saturday, and they were like a cash buyer. Like we were going to close in 10 days. And the seller called me, and she had sold it out for underneath me 2 days before. And I was like,
oh man,
what? Yeah, it was rough. But it's one of those situations where it's like, I could sue the lady, sure, but she just sold her $30,000 house. What does she have that I could go get? It's like, all right, that's the name of the game.
Yeah. sometimes that stuff happens. It's like, do you want to spend all the time and energy on that thing, or do you want to just move on
Just
with
move
all this
on.
stuff in the pipeline? That's so huge too. Is just getting a healthy pipeline, so not every deal is this crucial moment for you to make sure that the paycheck can clear, so you can pay the bill. I see that a lot, like with like newer people new to this space, right? Like, oh my gosh, this one deal is going to change my life, and it very well may. But why not increase the odds for yourself, right? Like, why make this a coin toss? You know, let's have 4 quarters flipped at a time so that one of them hits heads. You know what I'm saying? And that's tough to do because it requires systems. It requires a good CRM. You know, it requires all that type of stuff.
Did you catch Dan's face when you said that word?
Wish we knew one. Wish we knew somebody that.
I wonder. Shameless plug.
Hey, but I'll tell you though, man, it's crazy. Like, I mean, if we just kind of just take our association, you know, and our friendship away, you know, from us being boys with Dan, and just kind of look at the CRM just for what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It is the cheapest. It is the same or higher quality. You know what I'm saying? You have the same access to all the same resources that these other bigger names are offering you for $97 to $200 a month. And you get access to all of the additional stuff. Like, I was talking to Dan about it. I'm like, dude, I know that this is not like a cash cow. You know, this is not one of those things that, you know, you're making like quick money on. You know, this isn't, Dan's not trying to do it for fast money. He's really trying to make an impact and create an opportunity for people that really want to make something of themselves. And I think that's what really brings a lot of people and makes a lot of people really resonate with REI Revs. Like, we really just want to create opportunity. That's why so many people really, really resonate with REI Rev.
Yeah.
I would rather keep adding more stuff to really, you know, benefit the community. And now we're even doing the whole, you know, aspect where I'm going to offer a free version of, you know, just the CRM aspect with no telephone system or anything like that. And so, you know, and really, you only have that opportunity if you're inside of the community, right? If you're inside of the server and that kind of stuff, you don't really have that outside of. You're not going to know about it, you know, because that's not something that we're putting out there, that we're advertising. You know what I mean? That we're spending marketing dollars to advertise something that we're making $0 on. So to have that opportunity is something you have to really get in on the community with, because otherwise you're not really, you know, you're not going to find, you know, an ability to be able to get in on that. So, you know, we're, you know, and the bottom line is I just want to keep adding stuff in to really keep benefiting people. And because I don't think that you don't change the industry, you don't change everything until you really start trying to not only, like, because everybody can create a new business model. They can either add different forms of value, right? They can create a better product or service and offer a better product or service. They can offer a better price than everybody else, or most people can offer, you know, I can get it to you quicker than anybody else, right? So those are the 3 things that you can really effectively change. But if you do all 3 of them, then that's how you really change an industry, right? Is you purposefully understand that, you know, for me, this is not a, you know, I'm gonna build this up to create this money machine and then get out, you know what I mean? You know, ASAP. I'm building this because I'm looking at this as a 5 to 10 year plan to really create something that people, you know, that people want to spend money in. Like, now we have people asking me to add stuff in that they can pay for because they just want to stay with us, right? Because of the fact that they're just loyal to the brand overall. But you don't really get that with a lot of other companies, right? Because they don't have any personal attachment to anything, you know, about the product that they're using. So, you know, I think the best thing that you know, companies like, you know, Starbucks and Facebook ever did is they really made it feel like there's a community, right? Like aspect, like even when you go buy a coffee from Starbucks, it's like you're holding around this cup, you know, with your name on it and all this stuff, and everybody feels like they're a part of like the same little thing, even if you don't really realize it. That's like a community, you know, aspect. It's a tribal aspect, and that's really what we're glued to in our minds as individuals. And I think Facebook, like, Facebook didn't have to market at all, right? They started in a university, they started at Harvard, and everybody at Harvard really wanted to, be a part of, the bigger, this bigger community, to know what everybody else is doing. So that's how Facebook really got their first big start. But, and I don't know if we're gonna really hit it that big or not. I'm shooting for something that's a game changer in a revolutionary way. The same thing that John envisioned. When he started REIRev is the same thing that I have, same vision I have for my brand, and I don't think anybody else is thinking about that as a CRM. They're trying to create a product that's gonna it's gonna create a business, that's gonna create a money machine, and they're gonna get out, right? But I'm really trying to see it as like how can I really like shake everything up.
I like what you said about Starbucks and how it creates a community, because that's another reason why I think REIRev is so successful, is because like it was definitely me, kind of starting it, and being active and like hosting these events. But dude, now it's like people want to host their own events. You're hosting your own live stream. Like it is living on its own.
Right.
What Sam said the other day about it being active 24/7, you can really like chop it up with somebody at 3 a.m. Somebody is online. Like you're in instant proximity with people that are actively doing this business, and it's insane to see. So I really do believe that there's going to be a massive opportunity. I think, in the future, I would like to explore what having a standalone platform might offer. Of course, I think the most important thing is building the brand and the brand awareness, and getting more people to understand, what REIRev is, and then eventually, coming out with a marketplace, for people to actually transact, in some way. And if REIRev can facilitate it one way or another and be compensated to do such, I think that would be the ultimate way to provide value to people, and get compensated for the value that we provide.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's funny too, because I never really had as many connections. I was telling my guy Justin the other day. I was telling him how I got connected, just so many connections that I made in the real estate world just because of REIRev. And what's funny is like, I was having a really deep conversation last night about just with just with my parents about like our business that we have back in my hometown, and all these things. And when you start a business, and I'm sure all you guys can kind of relate, is when you start kind of making anything, there always has to be somebody who has to make tough decisions and to keep the entity rolling. And it's like being a business owner is really tough, and it's not even just the getting up every day and just going after it. That's hard, but that's anything, even a job requires that, right? You have to get up every day and do the same shit. But if you're running a business, what really makes it the different changing aspect for me has been the amount of pressure that not the business puts on you, but everyone else around you. And if you see a guy who has a successful business, but also has a wife and children and a house and a family that he also supports, buy that guy lunch, buy that guy a beer, buy that guy something, because no one understands that guy's life. I promise you, no one understands that guy's life the way that he wakes up every day and sees his life. Not even his wife, who shares his house with him, doesn't understand the amount of pressure that guy is under every single day of his life. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that. Like, if you become a business owner, a real business owner, and that's why I always say that, like, this stuff, this facade that you see on Instagram, that you see on Twitter, that you see on TikTok, this stuff of like, oh, becoming your own boss so you can travel to Bali and work from a laptop and do all these things and this and that. I'm like, okay, yeah, you might be able to do that, but that's not a real. You're not ever running something that's going to change. You're not building something that's going to change the world. You're not building something that's going to change an industry. You're not building something that's really making an impact. Because if you were, that wouldn't even be your concern. And I'm not shitting on anybody who wants to go do that, who has that as like their goal of why they want to run their own stuff. You can go and do that, but you're always still going to be decently insignificant in the world. The moment that you become significant in any industry, and I've watched this happen to John as well, and I've seen him struggle with the same things that I'm talking about, just building REI Rev. That to him, even though he's not making any money from it, that's a fucking gigantic business, dude. Like, that's a business, because you are running a social network of people who are all just, there's all these spinning emotions, all these people that have different thoughts, philosophies, all these things, and at the center of it all is you, and you have to manage it and wake up every single day and it's something every day. It's something every day. And listen,
It is something every day.
All four of us help to try to manage in every way that we can, right? And we try to provide some value back to, so it's not all just on him, but at the end of the day, it's really all lands on John. If this thing all fucking goes to shit, it all lands on him, right? It doesn't land on us. If my business collapses, today, my employees who I rely on, right? It's like it's all on me, right? At the end of the day, it's all on me. If my business goes bankrupt, it's not on my employees. Like, I don't get to say like, hey, like, put up $5,000 so you can bail us out each. You know what I mean? And we're all gonna put up $5,000. They're gonna be like, go fuck yourself, right? Like, they're like, I'm out. I'm gonna go find a different job.
Yeah.
So it's like, at the end of the day, you really are the person that has to be the hero and the villain in your story if you're going to make any kind of significant change, because people are always going to have their opinions, right? There's a lot of people who we had a guy who we had an issue with in the community because he had an issue with the way that I do my business. And at the end of the day, it's like, that guy will now forever see me as a villain, right? For the rest of his life. Because in his mind, in his story, I'm the bad guy. And I'm sure that I made those same judgments and stuff in my life back when I was that young, making those choices too. And maybe one day he's going to grow up and he's going to have some type of pressure and responsibility, and he'll say, oh, you know what? Maybe I saw that situation the wrong way. Or maybe not, right? But like, the bottom line is like, when you're making a significant difference and you're running your own stuff, there's going to be people that see you as the hero and there's people that see you as the villain. No matter what you decide to do, no matter what your choice does, if your choice ultimately benefits more people than it affects less people, the people that it benefits are going to see you as the hero. The people that it affects negatively are going to see you as the villain. Even if it benefits more people than it negatively affects the other people, they don't care, because at the end of the day, I think people just care about themselves to the core, right?
Right.
That's how the corporate job space is. It's like, who is the major villain in corporate America? It's the CEOs. It's the owners of the company, right? Everybody sees these guys as villains. We don't really know. I mean, people talk about how Jeff Bezos is really this evil, mastermind dude. And the idea is, we just don't really know. We don't know, because we don't know the guy. I don't know him.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you firsthand, what I found is, from being a servant, being somebody that actually wants to provide something to more people, is how I've been able to garner any sort of traction and momentum. So, anyone that does have that negative intention to try to take advantage of other people, I don't really think that they can build something that is sustaining, long term. Because I just feel like people kind of get a sense for your intentions. We're aware. People know when something is up. When something doesn't seem right. Unfortunately, I also want to touch on this though, because I think it's important. Not everybody is as experienced, in business, and some people are naive, and some people do give the benefit of the doubt. Please, please, please do not ever send money to anyone claiming to be me or anybody that is up here asking you for trading Bitcoin or Binance, binary trading. None of that stuff is us. We will not message you asking about trading accounts or have you joined this firm or fund, anything related to that stuff at all, we are 100% real estate, and you can catch us in the Discord if you have questions. So, yeah. I was upset, man. When I read the chat. It was on Saturday, so I was sleeping in on Saturday, and I woke up and I saw the chat, and I saw this guy who was just going off. He was saying, "John, give me my money back." I'm like, "Damn, dude, you got scammed."
Yeah.
I was like, "Dude, that's crazy."
I couldn't believe the screenshots. He put the screenshots up. He was ready to come for you too. Like he was really all at it, you know.
God bless him too. You know, I wish that I had the money to give it to him. He gave it to me, but he didn't, because I don't ask for that kind of stuff. And you know, it's crazy to see that. Also, you know, we are going to be in a position where our influence can be negatively used. You know, people really trust us and they trust what we have to say, and people will make like fake accounts. And to the people that really do that stuff, like if you just applied yourself to do something productive, you know, you would accomplish so much more and feel so much more fulfilled. There's no way you feel good about yourself at the end of the day.
Yep.
I just think it's so hard sometimes to like balance, like, you know, because I feel like I do a lot for a lot of people, and I try to anyways. I know Ben's talked about this a few times, like how hard it is to like manage, you know, just manage people.
Oh man.
You know,
So many people just hit you up and they're just like, "Hey," like you said earlier, "Hey, can I pick your brain?" It's like, no.
and if you say no,
Like,
right, you're the bad dude right off the
you're the
block.
bad guy. You're just like, yeah. So
Yeah.
Sometimes
It's
better
a
not
lot
to
of it's a lot of time to give. So
And the other
So
side
we
is
just-
like I've tried it before where like I'll charge people like, you know, $50 for a call or whatever,
Yeah.
if they're like really new. But the other side of it is like I don't want to charge people for that, and and also the reason I want to charge is because I know they're not going to actually use the information. Like they're not actually going to go take action. So it's like I'm wasting my time. But if I know somebody's like really going to be about it, of course I'll take that call. So.
I just think there's always going to be like a tough balance of, you know, if you're going to run a business, like if you're going to run something that's really significant, because here's the thing is like, here's the thing is you have employees in your life, right? And they have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a husband or a wife or, you know, a sister or a brother or whatever, right? Or a mom or a dad. If you have to let that person go for whatever reason, or you're trying to adjust this, or you're doing that, or hey, I don't, you know, I'm trying to structure this for you, and you have your reasons of what you're doing, everything that you're doing, right? The people on the back end of their life, of your employees' lives, don't see everything. All they get is the person that comes home complaining to them and being sad about this or telling them this story. And funny enough, you know, I have a friend of mine from back home. He runs a business, and he had some, you know, this guy who works for me and my family, but also is working for him right now. And you know, there was a situation, I guess, that they're kind of dealing with, and I guess he was kind of telling my mom about the situation, like the young guy, and so she's telling me about all this and that. And I said, "Hey, Mom, you know, I guess, listen, we don't know the full story, right? We don't know we don't know our guy's story either. Like we don't know our friend's story either, right? Like we don't know what his side as the business owner. We don't really know what's going on over there. So you're just hearing one side of the story and just assuming everything. It's like I can't tell you how many times I've had to be like, you know, deal with something from an employee perspective where I feel like I've really put out a lot of value, and then all of a sudden it's just like, you know, they go home and they're pissed about this or they're upset about that, and then now all of a sudden it's like that person, whoever is on the back end that's hearing this negative perspective, they hate you and they don't even know you, right? They don't even know. They're not in the office every day. They're not making the decision. So I guess that's more of like less of what I'm talking about. Like, you know, I have a young guy that's kind of working for me, and I've been trying to structure him in a way, and it's just been tough because he's in college, and then also in the other aspect is like, I'm just trying to balance everything and everybody inside my company to keep everything alive, and I've been trying to give him opportunities, but also trying to, recently trying to push him to kind of go and kind of start doing his own thing. But I've done a lot for this guy as well. I helping him open up his own LLC, all this kind of stuff, all these things, and But his mom just sees on the back end that I'm not paying him minimum wage. She doesn't, but
Yep.
she doesn't understand the whole picture of what's really going on. People are like, "Oh, well, you have to pay people minimum wage." It's like, well, no, because that's not in our agreement together, right? Like, it's different. Like, he's not coming on working a minimum wage job for me. So it's you know what I mean, I don't run Lowe's, I don't run like all these other companies. So you know, and honestly, I have his best interest at heart, and I want to see him succeed and do these things. And you know, his mom is really pushing him to go and do you know, go work for corporate America, right? Because she wants him to be safe and secure.
Yep.
I understand her
safe.
perspective. I understand her perspective as a mother, right? I understand her perspective as a parent, right? Because a lot of parents too, like, I know my parents like didn't understand, because like my dad's just a small business owner. I really wouldn't say he's an entrepreneur. So he didn't understand anything that I was going to try to do.
Same,
Right?
yeah, same with my dad.
Yeah, I mean, John was not trying to, you know, he didn't have, you know, anybody giving him any actionable advice on how to be an entrepreneur. You know, I don't know if Paul did or not, but
I received a bunch of like, go for it cautiously. That's what I received. It was like, yeah, you could try it, but you should have so many things in the back hopper as a safety net, right? And
yeah,
I was like, no, I've got, if I'm gonna do this, I've got to do it as if there's no parachute, right? There's no rip cord.
Burn the boat.
Right.
Burn the boat.
Otherwise, I'm not fully committed, and that's kind of what it takes, is that little extra.
It's almost like there's a time in a day where you're like, all right, I'm actually gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna. No more of this playing small. Like I'm gonna go do it.
But only certain people get it fed up to that point, though.
Yeah. And it has to get worse before it gets better. Like you have to hate your job, or you have to hate something in your life bad enough to make you take the action.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. It'll get worse before it gets better. It's the truth.
Yeah. I think for me it was I was talking about this the other day, but I had graduated from school and I was only making a certain amount of money, and I had a lunch with someone that made $1 million a year. I did the math in my head about how many years, if I didn't spend any of the money I made that year eating, having a rent payment, a car payment, I just sat in a room, like how many years it would take to make that $1 million that this person made in 1 year. And I was like, I'm in the wrong fucking business. I gotta get out of here. I gotta make some changes. I gotta eat right. I gotta work out. I gotta change everything. Everything's changing, and it was just like that. And you know, it totally changed. You know, kind of the motivation for me to want to push towards something and burn the boats. Right? Like I was comfortable. I was safe, but I knew that if I was comfortable and safe, I'd never be able to achieve kind of that ceiling that I was looking to hit. I was going to be capped, and I didn't want my wings clipped. Fly free, baby.
No. It's also like, dude, for me, what it really came down to at the time when I really got into entrepreneurship, like, and I burned the boats. I was dating this girl, and I remember this dude DM'd her, and I remember it just hit me. I was like, oh my god, no. And I like looked at his Instagram, and he had like a SVJ Lambo and like all this, and I was like, I was like, dude, I was like, I'll never let myself feel like this again. Yeah. Like I don't want it to be like some dude can come along and take whoever she's gonna be. Like I was like, I want to be the guy with the SVJ on it. Like I can't. I don't like this character in the story. I want to change.
Oh, I like that.
And I did. I was like, no more.
I don't like this character in the story. I like that.
No.
It's crazy when you can really change your story at any time at any point. You know what I mean? Like that's
all you're doing
funny.
All you're doing consciously is living a life of some story that you've created.
Yeah.
Like who you think you are, and you can just go, oh, you know what? Fuck this guy, and change it.
You know what I learned is like though there's a lot of people who are only in it for like the fun times though, right? And you can't be with an entrepreneur, girl or guy. Don't go be with an entrepreneur if you want even levels the whole time. Yeah. Just don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself, because their life is a roller coaster. Their life is a roller coaster. Yeah. Our life is a roller coaster. So it's like,
real.
Don't even get on that ride if you're not going to see the bigger picture. Yeah, if you Bob,
Yep.
Buckle
Bob,
up.
Bob says in the chat, if you want safe, don't be with an entrepreneur. That's the bottom line. Is like if you want, because that's not what you're getting, right? Like you're not getting.
No.
But at the same time, if you want something extraordinary, you can't be with a person who is safe because the cap, the potential that they're going to reach is not ever going to be extraordinary.
I imagine
Right.
it's like being with a gambling addict, like a person that's just like addicted to gambling.
Jeez.
Like you have like
Oh, God.
sometimes you have shitloads of
Yeah.
money, sometimes you're like, well, we just lost the house.
If you're afraid to
Calculate.
go bankrupt,
Calculate.
don't be with an entrepreneur. No, I'm joking. You should listen, listen.
I'd say one thing that really hit me is I was thinking about this the other day. It's like this is what ultimately like defines you as a winner or a loser, right? Winners are not afraid to lose, but losers are too afraid to try. So that goes for everything,
wow.
man. If you want to get the girl, you got to go after it, and you got to be all right
bro.
to get rejected. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's whether it's a business, you got to be okay to fail. You got to be able to say, hey, this path isn't for me. I'm not going to go to school. I'm not going to live out this story. I'm going to write my own. And I just want to really share with people the importance of writing what you want to happen and praying on it. Just write it out,
Man.
pray on it. It will happen if it's for you. And if it's not for you, believe that God has something even better for you, because that's just how it works. That's just how it works.
I literally have like pages after pages.
I love it.
Yep.
And I never let these
For real.
journals go, man. I never let them
Nope.
go. I fill them up. I'll look back at them. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys are on Windows, but they have this like system reset or something, system restore on Windows. You get to see where your mind was at, your mentality was at during that phase. And one thing that I've been hearing lately is just like, John, you made it through like everything so far. So
Yep.
why would you stop now?
Yeah, we have 100% survival rate so far. So,
Yep.
yeah, dude, that's helped me a lot with like whenever.
survival rate so far.
Yeah, we have. I mean, think about it.
Hey,
And what I like to do a lot, like whenever I like, and it doesn't happen to me a lot now, but if like something goes south in a deal or something happens and I get anxious and I'm like, oh, I get that feeling, is like I'll immediately stop and I'll write down why I'm upset and I'll go, what are the other times that I felt like this and how did it, what happened? And it's like, well, I didn't die. The worst thing that happens is I just didn't make any money. That's the worst of the worst. It's like, well, damn. All right, I guess I could move past that, and then I'll probably make some money.
There ain't all too much that will really concern an entrepreneur, besides money. I think when you start to get nervous or when you start to get on edge, you gotta get the money up. That's it, man. That's really it.
Dude, nobody's upset when they're making money.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Listen, a lot of people want to write prescriptions, this and that. You need to go and get a check. That's what you
Yeah, bro. You're spreading the mouth real fast. I don't think I need as much as I thought I did. I just needed those couple zeros.
but
Real.
listen. At the end of the day, if you really want to, level up, your game and what you're doing, and you ultimately want to be different, and you want to have a different experience. It's not going to come from having an ordinary life, or like we were talking about being safe.
right.
Yep.
And you.
Dude, I'll
can't-
share with you
can't
guys
be-
about
yeah.
where I was at too. Like when I got my first check wholesaling, I made $15,000, and I decided that it was going to be a great time to leave the United States, go to a foreign country where I really didn't speak the language. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to figure this thing out. And that's exactly what I did. If you guys want to talk about burning the boats, I had nobody to come and save me. I didn't know anybody where I was at. I didn't even know how to speak the language where I was at. So you really got to burn the boats. You can't give yourself an out. Like, you've got to be in. You've got to be in. Cut that fucking cord and make it happen. I'll tell you, man,
Yep.
I was once in Ecuador, credit cards maxed out. I had to roll the 6. You know what I'm saying? I had to spend that property.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, you're a different man when you have to make it happen.
Oh,
right? And
bro.
I pray that every man that watches this video has that feeling at least just one time in their life
Yeah.
where they've got to make it happen and they pull it off. And I hope that you amaze yourself. On
Don't
what
get
you're-
addicted to that feeling though, because I feel like a lot of people get addicted to that feeling, and that can be tough to deal with, because if you
Oh,
get
yeah.
addicted to the feeling,
It's like playing Russian roulette.
you can want to keep going back to it. You know what I mean? Like you can want to keep going back to it every time, and that can. Oh wow, we got Paul's screen all messed up here. Paul's.
Sorry.
disconnected. Yeah.
My stuff keeps disconnecting,
We're gonna-
but I should be back.
Dude, I remember right before my first deal closed, I was just like that, John. I had maxed out everything. I was like down to like, I think I had like $1,000 left before my credit card maxed out. And it was like
Yeah.
2 days before it closed. And I was like, you know what? Just out of spite, I'm going to go buy a new watch. I bought like $100 watch. I was like, let's go. But
You're a menace.
I was like, I mean, that $100 ain't gonna make a difference. I'm already dead. Like,
Yo, for real, and that's what it boils down to. You really start to feel death, because like when you really run out of money, you can't get your hands on
Dude.
anything else. That's it, bro. That's game over, bro. You're gonna die. You can't afford to. You're gonna die.
it's so true. You're like, I died on this planet.
Hey, but you gotta be willing to. You gotta. I mean, I was willing to risk it. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh, yeah, you
just
got to.
financially. I've risked my life in other ways too. Just like skateboarding, I think is such a huge testament to the character building that I have, and just being consistent and not giving up. And one of the things that I did, one of the feats that I accomplished was there's this part in the skate park that nobody will ever touch. And after like probably 12, 13 years of skateboarding, I got this itch one day. I was like, something was calling me. The universe was calling me. And it brought me right to that spot in the bowl. And I'll bring up the camera, dude. And it was this spot right here. And I dropped in over that death box. They call that death box. You will not see anybody drop in over that. I dropped in over it, made it multiple times, did it on camera, proved to myself over and over again. Like literally, that's risking your life, bro. So if you're comfortable with death, bro, you're unstoppable. There's nothing that's really gonna shake you.
Right. For real.
But, anyways, guys. Oh, wait. I gotta messing up the stream here. That's my bad. I don't know. What you guys think? You guys, is that we wrap it up for today? And,
Yeah, I gotta peace out.
Paul's
looking pretty anxious.
I got a couple irons in the fire. No big deal.
Hey, you know what? We took action. This is the first one. Good for us. We did.
Hey,
We
man,
did.
You gotta start dirty, man. You start dirty.
This is gonna be proof that it's the reps that count.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. for
Episode
this.
1,000 will be a lot better.
We're gonna I'm gonna make sure so schedule wise I'm gonna work on clipping this up throughout the week, post clips from the podcast throughout the week, and then I'm gonna post an edited version. So if you missed the live version today, I'm gonna post an edited version for John to put up on Friday, so you guys can catch the full thing. So that way you guys don't have to go back and watch the whole live where it's where we took 40 minutes to get started today. We'll clip that part out, but yeah, we'll get it clipped up. And if you guys missed most of today, don't worry about it, because we're gonna post the full thing on Fridays, and then I'm gonna also make sure that I get to work on making an intro for everything. I've been a part of so many podcasts. I feel like I've started so many things. I really want this to be the first one that I do that hits 100 episodes, and I think not only will we hit 100, but we're gonna hit a whole hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully in person too. We gotta get a studio.
Oh yeah.
yes.
That'd be
for
fun.
sure.
Some studio time.
So
I'd be down.
Well, let's get Paul out of here, ladies and gentlemen. He's itching to get to this next deal.
I actually have to hit some phones and stuff too. So yeah,
every
got a lot
Monday,
stated.
guys. Every Monday at 12:30 EST. You guys can catch us every week. we're gonna be here regardless. One of us is gonna be here to make it happen. We'll be bringing back future guests on. We'll be doing a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff. John's already got irons in the fire for some guests. So we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna bring people on, and we'll see you guys on the next one, guys. Thanks so much.
All right.
Cool.
Sweet.
All right.
See you guys
Peace,
later.
everybody.
See you guys. Peace.
Take care.